Oh, snap. That was my post. Hey, man.
Hi. Are we on?
Yeah. We're totally live right now.
So we were sitting in silence for the last 7 or 8 minutes.
Yeah, it was really awkward.
You were like, don't talk at all until I start talking to you.
That's right.
So
I'm quite, what's the word? I'm quite demanding of my guests.
Mm-hmm.
You have to follow my rules at all times.
Yep.
I think we have, well, at least the parents are watching. Somebody named Fred said, Juan es muy guapo.
Yeah, I know. I saw it.
Did you really? You saw that?
Yeah, I checked it like 5.
I didn't tag you because I didn't know if that was. You're never on the stuff, so it doesn't. I didn't think it mattered.
I do check Instagram, but that's about the only.
Do you really?
Social media. Yeah, I mean,
I never post anything.
No, I don't. I used to, but I feel like people don't think my stuff is that interesting, so I'm like, why post it?
Well, I post it because it's fun to. It's just another like. I kind of almost consider it like a storage, like a picture storage.
Yeah.
You know, like the other day, I was actually going through a lot of my old stuff, and it was fun to go back in time, like 5-6 years or whatever. 5 years, 6 years, man, it's been a while. Just to go back and see, you know, like pictures of the kids and all that stuff.
I do that
it's
with,
just it's like a free photo storage almost to me.
That's what I use Google Photos for.
Yeah, but the stuff, it's not going to be unlimited anymore.
Oh, that's true.
I keep seeing news articles in my feed about it.
Yeah, I'm paying for their additional storage. So.
Are you really?
Yeah, it's $2 a month.
Oh, it's only $2 a month
for my plan.
How much do you get?
2 megabytes. Just kidding.
You get a Jazz drive? You get a Jazz drive.
Get a zip drive.
You get a zip drive?
Mail it to you. No, it's like crap. What is it? I want to say it's like 250 gigabytes.
Dude, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's a decent amount. I've got anytime I photograph like friends or friends' families, I put it on Google Drive and I keep it up there for like years. And I haven't.
So it's not just Google Photo. It's not just the photos. It's Drive as well.
Yeah.
Oh, so you pay like $2 a month for all of it for photos.
It counts against your it counts against your Google storage allotment.
That's fantastic,
if you will. But your emails count toward that too, so you got to be careful.
What?
Mm-hmm.
It's all across the Google suite.
Yeah, it's called Google One.
Oh my gosh!
One suite, one $2 bill
every month.
Per month. Month.
You gotta watch that shit because you'll extend it, especially with photos, especially with photos from your DSLR, especially if you're uploading high res versions of it.
Yeah. Which I do, but I delete periodically. I go through and delete it, but everything else is backed up on my external hard drive. So if anybody needed it, I can get it.
Of course you can.
Yeah.
Before we get too far into this, I was gonna pull a surprise on you.
This is never good.
We're going to do a wristwatch check.
Oh, nice. Oh, so jealous.
In
nice watch.
in the urban gentry style, it's a wristwatch check, a proper wristwatch check.
Yeah. So what are you wearing, Pat?
That, sir,
Patrick?
is the... You can call me whatever you want. That, sir, is the Hamilton Khaki Field Mechanical.
Oh.
Auto.
Wait,
Automatic.
mechanical? Oh, okay, auto.
Sorry.
42 millimeter? Is that right?
It is a 42 millimeter. I think they do make in a 38, the automatic,
40.
which
Yeah.
I guess I didn't know that. I thought the only one that came in 38 was the manual. It's got a date complication.
Can you hold it up again?
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, that's a good size. That 42 millimeter is a good size.
It really is. And the lug to lug's a little long, but I mean, I have like a 7.5-ish wrist. And
Me too.
It's pretty.
It's perfect.
Yeah, it's perfect.
If you Google like the ideal diameter size based on our wrist size, which I think we basically have the identical wrist size, it's like a 42 millimeter, 40 to 42, I think.
Yeah, but you know what? Every time I watch a video on watches, they're always, well, especially with Teddy Baldessar, he's always like, yeah, it's a 43, but the lug to lug is only blah, blah, blah. So it wears more like a 40 or something, you know?
Yeah.
Which is, I'm starting to notice is true. Like this has a substantially longer lug to lug than like my Seiko. So it feels bigger than my Seiko.
Interesting.
But it's not as tall, right? It's relatively short. Even though I got it on a NATO, it didn't come with a NATO. It came with a brown leather strap. I don't really like. I don't know. Maybe I just have to break it in.
I've heard their straps are kind of like, you're paying for the watch. You're not really paying for the strap.
Exactly. Maybe I'll switch to a leather one, like if I ever want to dress it up a little bit. But I really do like NATOs. I'm pretty sure all my watches, at least the ones that I normally wear. Well, no. I have that Vostok, and it's on that crappy rubber strap that it came with. But that's part of the charm.
You kind of have to do that.
Yeah, you kind of have to do that, especially if you're wearing the Steve Zissou version.
Yeah.
Like that's
So if you're wearing a Casio, you're not going to put like a chainmail, whatever you call that.
Bracelet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, some of them come with bracelets.
I know, but if it comes with like a $3 rubber bracelet, you're not going to switch it.
Yeah. Especially if it's integrated. So
that's true.
My daughter's getting interested in watches, and I teased her with, we went to the Swatch website. I'm thinking about getting her a little swatch for her birthday or something.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Relatively inexpensive. They're fun to look at. And it's like, it's respectable because it's Swiss. I mean, Swiss quartz, but it's still Swiss.
It's Swiss. And they own Hamilton.
They do. They own Hamilton.
Yeah.
So
can we look at my watch?
Wristwatch check.
It's not Avengers watch.
Yeah.
Like I shared with you the other day. This is a Seiko.
A little center to the center. Center it up.
Sorry.
Center it up. There you go.
It's a Seiko. Is it SNZG15?
Nice. With the day date. Oh, does it have 24-hour markers on there as well?
Yeah.
So it's like it's a field watch.
It's a field watch. It's a very affordable. It's got a bead blasted finish.
Oh, nice. Oh, except for I see it right into there where the strap goes. It's polished.
Yeah, it's got some polishing on it, so there's some visual interest.
Dude,
it's actually for a $130 watch. It's a very. I think it's really. I think it's great,
dude. I'm telling you, you're the one that told me to get a Seiko, and I got a Seiko 5, which I think we might have the same movement.
Probably. Yours might be a little bit better, but pretty similar.
Pretty similar. I mean, virtually the same. I got mine on sale at Macy's.
Nice.
And it came with a black NATO strap, which I've switched out.
Is this podcast sponsored by Macy's?
No.
Oh,
should it be?
Seiko? I don't know.
Sponsored by Hamilton would be the shit, right?
Indeed.
Maybe some.
Although their products are better than shit, I would say
they are way better than shit.
Yeah.
way better. Dude, you showed me that Ferrer.
Yeah.
Sexy.
Yeah.
That's a micro brand.
I think, yeah, I was going to say that's a micro brand. So I think I just saw it pop up on Reddit.
Yeah.
And I've seen that manufactured before. And I was like, ooh, that's nice. I don't know if I would ever get it though. Cause that like aqua teal color, you gotta have like the right outfit to wear that.
Dude.
I don't know if I could wear that with like my standard work.
Dude, it's so sexy.
I know.
So sexy. The thing though is.
Are you having a stroke?
I am. It's what did it say? Was it Swiss movement in there?
In the Ferrer?
Yeah.
Ferrer?
We don't even know how to say it.
I don't know. Yeah, I think it's Swiss.
Man.
It's either, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Swiss.
Dude, you know what I want?
I mean,
I want a marathon.
Yeah, those are cool. With the, what is it? Tritium? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. I think I'm just into like, yeah, historical, but also like legit. I was going to say tool watches, but not so much, right? Like chronographs are really cool and neat, but I'm not necessarily.
You don't need that function.
I don't need it, right? Like, so I'm more of like a history kind of guy. Like if it's got some historical significance, like I could see myself getting a Speedy. I could get a Speedy, especially the Speedy, right? Because it's the moon watch, right? Like that would be dope. Not necessarily because I'm into chronographs, but because I like the fact that it's the first watch to go to the moon. And then
plus it looks cool.
It looks cool as hell, right?
It looks cool, and it's got technological prowess.
Yeah.
Like you're holding an automatic watch that has
manual.
Oh, is it manual?
It's manual.
That was automatic. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
A manual mechanical watch that can do all these special functions.
Yeah. And
without a battery.
It's master chronometer or whatever certified.
Oh yeah.
So it keeps
so it's accurate.
Really good time.
Yeah. The Seiko I have to adjust like once a week because it's about 2 minutes fast per week.
Do you wear it? You must wear it every day then.
Yeah, man. It's my only watch. Well, my Avengers watch.
This is an Avengers watch.
Yeah, I don't see Captain America on it.
No, he's not on it. He's not on it, but he did wear it. Okay. So I'm told.
Yeah.
So I'm told. Apparently Tony Stark wears one too.
Yeah. You can't find a picture of it.
Well, there is one. There is one where you could barely make it out of Tony Stark. He's like talking to Bruce Banner, and they're like working stuff out in the lab, and you can kind of make out the Hamilton, but you can't. I still haven't been able to find a screenshot of Chris Evans actually wearing this watch. But hey, I don't know. I trust it. It's Hamilton. They're in all kinds of movies. Apparently, they're doing a Far Cry video game too. Keep seeing ads for it.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I keep seeing ads.
Hamilton's making a Far Cry video game?
No, they're making a watch. Or they're involved somehow with Far Cry 6 or something. I keep seeing ads for it.
The watch is going to be in the video game?
I guess.
Lame.
Yeah, I was like, why?
Maybe I'm not going to buy a Hamilton now. It's kind of lame.
Come on, it's a great watch for the money.
Oh, guess what? We're going to have a watch. It's going to be in Fast and Furious 9.
No, come on. When you think about it though, if they can leverage this branding and like putting it into huge movies, that's great for the watch nerd community, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Better than Movement.
Would you say Hamilton is the watch equivalent of Randolph Engineering for sunglasses?
Ooh.
They might be. They might be. You don't know what I'm talking about.
I do know what you're talking about. No. I do. What I was pondering was the history. I don't know the history of the Randolph.
I don't think they've been around that long. They've only been around since the 70s.
Oh, okay.
I think. But They're in a lot of movies.
Of course they are.
Like Tom Cruise has worn them in all of his movies.
Does he?
I think Jon Hamm wore the aviators in Mad Men.
Did he wear the square ones?
Yeah, the squarish ones.
Yeah.
With bayonet temples.
That's kind of, isn't that what you wear?
Yeah, I love those sunglasses.
Are they polarized?
Oh yeah.
Do they have a shock rating? I'm sure they do, right?
Sure.
Mil spec like a shock. What was it? Z86 or Z something?
Yeah, why not?
It's a so that in case they're shatterproof, right? Like they're supposed to be shatterproof.
Yeah, I think so.
Like that's why I have Oakleys, because they let me wear Oakleys while shooting guns.
Yeah. What were we talking about? We went on a very long.
It was
tangent.
the wristwatch check.
Does your audience know who I am?
No. Who cares? You're my brother.
Okay.
There it is. I don't like to do
Brother from the same mother.
Yes.
Hi, Mom.
I don't like to do the old like, and today's guest is, no.
Okay, sorry.
I just like to talk.
Yeah, all right.
I write all the extra crap in the show notes, and your name is up there, and I make a post about it, and you're my brother.
Cool.
And if people can't tell that we're brothers by the way we look, then they should just stop paying attention.
Do we look similar?
We don't look anything alike.
I was gonna say.
I'm looking over the chat just to see if Mom's gonna chime in. She's the only one watching, I think.
Hey, that's good. At least you have a confirmed viewer.
I keep getting one confirmed viewer every time, and I think it's the bot.
It's probably you.
I think it's the bot.
Oh.
So, I guess we should get into it, huh?
That's up to you, man. What are we getting into? What is this podcast about? Just kidding.
It's about Dungeons and Dragons. I was told.
Study up.
Yeah, I was told that you were an expert.
No. Although I have played World of Warcraft, which is roughly analogous, right?
Yeah.
There's some similar concepts there.
Yeah, I mean, like
roll and
yeah,
you have a character that you develop,
right? And the kinds of characters even are the same. I've played a little D&D
dungeons
here and there.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I've never played it.
I'm absolutely terrible at it because first of all, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's really hard to play. Like at least for me, because I didn't, we didn't grow up playing it, so I don't know all the rules and like I don't know like which dice I'm supposed to roll. Like my friend Jared keeps he's always just like, just roll that one, and I'm like, okay. He's like, he'll say random terms, and I'm like, what does that mean? He's like, roll the 20-sided die, and I'm like, okay.
Does your friend Jared or LARP?
No, I don't think he does. I don't think he's one of those people.
Rumor has it, Tim Duncan, big fan of Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, I mean it's
also LARPer.
I mean it's a cool game.
Yeah,
it is, but there's just so much. The learning curve, at least for me, is so steep.
That's why people are into it, because there's like a mythology about it,
right? And you can go super, super deep. Like last time we attempted to restart. Like he had these books, and we were like building our characters, and I'm like trying to figure out what would make sense for the kind of character and the race of my character and a name and a backstory. Like it's just like.
What was one of your names?
I don't even remember. It's been a while because we were doing this kind of before the COVID thing. But I mean that's a great segue, because really what we're doing on this podcast, you probably know this.
I've seen a few episodes.
Yeah. All we're doing is we're just trying to figure out like how you are, staying who you are throughout life's craziness. And you have gone through a huge job transition recently, and you had a brand new son in the middle of the pandemic, and you moved not too long before that. How long have you been at the house? A couple of years?
5 years.
You've been at that house for 5 years?
Half a decade.
Man.
2016.
It's been that long?
Yeah, I know. It's been a while.
Dude, isn't that the same year I bought my house? No. I bought mine in like 17. Yeah, I think it's 17.
Did I say 16 or 15?
You said 13.
16. It's been 5 years. It's literally 5 years. We moved in. I think we moved in right when my 6-year-old, who's now 6, almost 6, turned 1.
Oh my gosh. So anyway, that's what I want to know. I want to know what you're doing. So I remember once upon a time, back when you lived in the apartment, I remember you saying that you were playing in some sort of basketball league.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
That was like 2012?
You didn't
2011?
I don't know when you stopped, but when I was there, I was stationed.
It was only once. Yeah.
So it must have been.
Oh, were you there?
It must have been 11.
It must have been 11.
Because I went to boot camp in late 10, and I stayed there pretty much all of 11.
Yeah. That was the only time I did it.
I mean, truth be told, the only thing that I know for sure, and maybe I'm wrong, that you do aside from work and aside from dad life is sometimes you play video games.
Sometimes, yeah. It's been, man, I go through periods where I don't, like, I haven't played. I actually think about this a lot.
Really?
Because, yeah, I mean, you know me, I grew up, I enjoyed video games.
You really did. I was going to bring it back to that because I was like, dude, you were always like, ever since we got, man, I was going to say the original Nintendo, but I don't think that was it. I think it was whatever system it was where we had that first, was it NBA Live 95? Was that PlayStation or was that Super Nintendo?
Super Nintendo.
That, to me, in my brain, was kind of around the time that you really started to get a little more kind of deep dive into it. It was like, I'm going to play,
you're right.
And I'm kind of developing characters. Like, that's what you did.
Deep dive, for sure. Because it wasn't NBA Live 95. It was NBA...
One with Clyde Drexler on the front, right? NBA Live 95.
It was the precursor to NBA Live 95.
Bulls versus Blazers. Bulls versus Blazers.
Yeah, it might have been Bulls versus Blazers.
Right? That was the precursor, wasn't it?
I think you're right. It was one of those.
I spent a lot of hours sitting next to you watching you play video games.
So, yeah. So this is how into it. Dude, you pegged it. This is how into it I was. That was when they did not, the game did not keep track of stats. Like in the game, you could see your player's stats, but it did not track them from game to game. So I kept a log of my team's stats.
Do I remember this? I don't think I remember that.
I don't know. And I had pages and pages of stats. I was like obsessed with stats.
Really? Like, but I mean, how did it pay off though? Like you couldn't go back and re-enter the stats and it didn't matter towards the next game.
It paid off because I could track it and I could average them. I had averages for all my players. I was like, oh, David Robinson's averaging 70 points a game or whatever.
I see. So you were tracking your own. Oh, wow. That's crazy. But you know what? You and I were always kind of like that though. Like we used to draw the cards. We used to have stats memorized.
Oh yeah.
We would know. I mean,
Basketball
we'd have
cards.
the cards and we would look at the back and be like, and I could tell you, I'd be like, oh yeah, 92, Michael Jordan scored, he averaged 32 points per game or whatever. The only reason why I know he was 6'6" is because of those basketball cards.
Yeah.
I still know random facts sometimes. They'll just pop into my head like, oh yeah, Muggsy Bogues was 5'3".
Yep. Me too.
So that kind of makes sense to me. Man, I didn't know you were doing that. Did I know you were doing that? It's probably buried somewhere deep in my subconscious.
Like it wasn't a secret. I had like papers next to me when I played. And after the game was done, I'd write down the stats. And then finally they came out with a version. It was probably NBA Live 95. They came out with that and it kept track of the stats, so I didn't have to do it anymore.
That's insane.
But it was crazy. I found like a sweet spot on the court where you could shoot with basically anybody, any player from like deep. It's like where Steph Curry can hit from now between the 3-point line and the half court line.
You just max people out.
You can just hit it almost every single time. And so David Robinson, he was my favorite player. So he scored like 100 points a game. That was crazy.
5-0 banging
like
out threes.
Yeah. Anyway, that was fun. So yeah, games. That was my thing up through college.
I mean, even high school.
Even high school, I still dabble in it occasionally. Not as much because by the time I'm ready to play, it's like, man, I'm exhausted. I don't have the energy, the time. So I just watch YouTube.
Do you really?
That's big part of what I do before I go to bed.
Holy moly.
So Red Letter Media, all those fun channels, Urban Gentry.
You still watching? So I watched the thing about Urban Gentry. He did a deal with like, was it like Watch Club or something? And then I guess they had like a falling out or something. And so he kind of got dropped. Like they had like people helping him, like producers and things coming in, helping him shoot videos and editing and all that stuff. And then like some kind of falling out. And now he's kind of like on his own. There's a video about it on his channel.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't watch him religiously, but I do watch him if I see something pop up.
Oh, dude,
interesting.
You totally turned me on to him just because, and I like him because he dives into the history of it. And that's my favorite part, I think, is that he's so enthusiastic about just the history behind everything.
Yeah.
Like you can tell he loves it.
Yeah, you can tell he's a really nice guy and he just loves watches.
Well, that, and he loves the, think like movies, right? And books and like, even like clothes. Like he just loves, he's all about kind of like, I don't want to say the finer things in life, but like.
That's actually a good way to put it.
You think so? You think it's, I mean, he's not like the other day, like just earlier today, I was watching a video and he was talking about some New Balance shoes that he got,
Yeah.
But then they were nice because they were made in America, and he probably spent well over $100 something on them, and he wears a pinky ring.
Yeah, that part's a little weird.
But he wears it. He wears it because
signet,
it's a signet. He wears it because it's like a tradition in his family. Yeah. He's like, when you turn 18 or 21 or something in his family, all the men get a signet ring, and like, I have one before I started watching Urban Gentry. But this has my kid's initials on it.
Okay, I guess that's allowed.
It was my Father's Day present to myself. Okay. Somebody's got to get me something. But that's what I got to do. Hashtag single dad life. You got to do. So what is it? You go to work all day. Well, you don't really go anymore. And then you come home, or you log off
during normal times.
You haven't even
before times.
You haven't even been to your new job, have you?
I visited it.
Yeah, that's like one of those ones, like edited it.
I visited it. Like 2 weeks after I started, just to tour the office. I could see where my seat is.
You have a seat.
Yeah,
much like
I've got a nice view of the Chicago River.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait. Is it in downtown?
Yeah, man.
So you're back working in the city?
I'm not commuting just yet, but at some point I'll be commuting.
You'd be hopping on that train.
I'm still total work from home right now.
Your last job wasn't in the city though.
Yeah, it was.
It was?
Yeah, all my jobs have been in the city.
I didn't know that. For some reason, I thought your previous job was in the burbs.
Nope.
Ugh.
City. It was deep in the city. It was on Michigan Avenue.
Wow. Really?
Yeah. It was a hike. This place isn't too far from it. So.
All right. So you finish work.
Yep.
And I'm assuming it's family time.
Yeah.
Like right now.
Yep.
We're cutting into family time.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jane.
What minute is this? I'll have to play this back for her.
Yeah.
35.
Yeah.
Ish.
We're like
40, 30.
Where's my I'm trying to look for the what's
it's roughly half hour in.
What's timing me? Where's my time at?
Wait, do something like to the camera so you can track it. Go back. So I'm gonna put my hands up. So when I scrub it, I can look for the hands and then play it back for her.
There you go. That was all your idea. We just wasted precious time putting our hands close to the camera so that you can let your wife know exactly when we did the shout out.
Yep.
All right.
Where were we?
We were talking about.
So yeah, in the before times, this is what would happen. Oh man, and it's going to change a little bit. Things go back to normal because Jane switched jobs recently.
Oh, that's right. So that's another. That's another thing, right? Like you guys had all these changes. You switched jobs. Well, no, she switched jobs. Then you switched jobs, and you have a kid. Like, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So I would leave depending on if I'm doing pickup or not. If I was doing pickup, I would leave the office at 4:30.
This is back in the day when you had one kid.
Yeah, this is back when we had one kid.
Yeah.
I would walk a mile to the train. It was exactly a mile to the train.
That was the closest train.
We take the commuter train, so yeah, it's basically the closest. There's one line you could take to get to my neighborhood. So hightail it on out at. I said 4:30, but a lot of times I wouldn't get out until 4:40, and at that point I'm probably halfway jogging to the train to make it because the train won't wait. Obviously, it's on schedule. It's gonna leave. So get on the train. Usually plop down. If I'm very busy at work, I will plop open the laptop. I will open the laptop and try to do some work for the next 20 minutes to half an hour.
On the train.
On the train. But usually that was kind of my decompression time.
Oh, that's awesome. That's built in.
My work days can be pretty stressful. And then...
Well, you're project manager, so yeah.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, by nature, that's the stressful job. You're running the show.
Kind of.
And the money thing, I think, would be probably the most, right? Money and time, right? The money and the time frame, probably the most stressful aspects of that job.
Oh yeah, totally. Because if a project's not performing well, you're the one that gets called. Not the people causing the problem. So decompress on the train or work if I'm extremely busy, and then get off, come home, sit around for about 10 minutes because there's usually a good time at my kid's older school when he was there. There was like a sweet spot that I thought was a good time to visit because they weren't like just handing out afternoon snacks or anything like that. So I would wait 10 minutes and then go pick him up. This is like 6-ish.
Whoa.
So if I get on the train at 4:57, that's when it departs. I would get to my neighborhood at 5. I would get home at like 5:50, 5:45.
So like an hour.
Yeah. And then, and then,
dude, I had no idea.
Yeah, it kind of sucks commuting. The pandemic obviously has been awful, but
so you would drive your car from the house or not? I mean, you guys had for a while. You had the one car too.
Yeah.
So that was another thing.
Yeah.
But Jane worked in the city as well, right?
Yeah, she was in the city too. So, come home, pick up the car, go pick up the kid, come back. Then usually Jane would be home by then. If not, she'd be pretty close to home by then.
This puts you guys at around 6:30, 6:45 ish.
Yeah.
God.
And then we got to start dinner. And then by the time dinner's done and we, wrestle around a little bit, it's 8:00. Time to start getting ready for bed.
Wait. Wrestle around. You're talking about with the kid, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking. The other kind of wrestling happens after. Maybe. Well, clearly it does because you have another kid now. Sorry, Jane. I feel like I'm going to say that a lot in this episode.
So yeah.
Man. So wait. You guys weren't even having dinner until 7-ish.
Yeah.
Dude, my kids at that age, my kids were going to bed at like 7:30. 7.
That's how it was when we were growing up too. It was like 7:30 when we were going to bed.
Was it?
I think so.
I'm gonna have to get mom and dad.
Mom and dad can chat.
They'll verify in the thing.
Yeah. I feel like it was that early. Maybe not. But so yeah, our kid was probably did not get enough sleep. And it's just how it was. I mean, we got him to bed at 8:30, reading stories. Well, actually, not even at 8:30. We'd start the process at 8:30, and then probably we'd be done reading stories at like 9:15.
Wow!
And then he would go to bed, and we'd wake him up at. Oh man, I don't remember. It was the before times. It was like 7, I guess, to get him to school.
You'd wake him up at 7, which means your ass is up by like 6. 6:15. Because you're going to wake up, you're going to make the coffee, and you're going to do the thing so that you can.
Yeah, we probably weren't that early, but we would open the door, wake him up. He's pretty good. Once you open the door and stop the sound machine, he'll be like.
That's what I do. I walk in and I turn the fans off, and my kids are like,
yeah,
like little zombies.
Yeah.
Mom says elementary school, 7:30 bedtime.
Yeah. We're not doing that. It's like, we're still not doing that. Just by the time we're done with dinner, we're done working at 5:30, eating dinner at 6:30. Enjoy each other's company for an hour and a half, and then start the process, going to bed. But now, during the pandemic,
it's fantastic, isn't it?
There's pros and cons. The pros are no commute, so I can literally roll out of bed and start working if I wanted to.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's more time.
But there's no transition period.
Oh, interesting.
Between work and personal life and vice versa. So you're kind of like, I feel like I have to force my transition periods.
What do you do?
Otherwise, they just don't happen.
What do you do?
Well, when I'm not crazy busy at work, I'll go for a walk after work.
Really?
And come back. Yeah.
Old man style?
Yeah.
Get out the white New Balances and go for a walk?
Yeah, man. I'm getting fat. I gotta get some sort of exercise.
It's funny. I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking, you're getting fat. No.
Me?
I was thinking.
Like, wow, you can tell from this?
Yeah, dude. It's a great camera.
Wow,
No. I was actually, it was like
yeah.
yesterday or the day before. I was like, man, well, because I used to walk my dog. I used to walk Halsey.
I used to walk 3 miles a day to and from work.
Right. I used to, me too.
At fast speed.
Dude, my job is down the street.
Walk.
I'd walk 20 minutes down to my office.
Yeah.
And then 20 minutes back. And then I walk Halsey twice a day. Now I don't walk at all. I walk from downstairs to upstairs. My hips are giving me problems.
I don't even walk. I crawl.
Yeah. You crawl out of bed.
Crawl on the floor.
Yeah. Up the stairs.
I'm too lazy. I'm just tired. I can't walk. I'm just going to crawl to my desk.
Do not keep your laptop close to your bed, because then you'll just work from bed all day.
True. I probably would.
I can't, because I need all the screens. I can't work from one tiny little 15-inch screen.
Yeah.
I need more than one. I have to split it up.
I use my 27-inch monitor as much as I can.
I have to. I can't not have the screens. I got too many documents up at one time, in a web page and like all kinds of stuff, and Outlook and chat and all kinds of things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Man, that's nuts. Yeah, so I'm the same. I was literally thinking the other day, I have to just force myself to get up early, I think, and go exercise. But I don't have that same problem. Like, I don't have the transition. I mean, I would, right? Like if I had my kids every single day, which I don't.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So on the days that I do have them, it's not that bad. It's like I go get them from school and then.
Well, your kids are older too.
We're home.
That makes it a little bit easier.
It does make it a little easier. Yeah.
They're more autonomous. I've got a 6-year-old and a 1-year-old. And the 1-year-old, if you don't watch him, he will get into trouble.
I like him. I like him already.
He's actually pretty awesome. He's like super happy-go-lucky.
He's gonna be like me.
He probably will.
He's the younger brother. That's how it works.
Yeah, it's kind of funny to see that because he's very he's a lot more social than the first one. And by social, I mean he's more open to like other people that he doesn't know.
Yeah. Oh, that's weird because my daughter's the one. My daughter's the older one. For people who don't know, obviously my brother knows. She's really social.
I'm an uncle.
Yeah.
What?
2 times. I am divorced. Did you know that?
You were married?
Yeah, dude. It was weird. That was a weird 9 years. It all happened so fast.
Weird is putting it lightly.
Not the first person to say that. All right. So in the before times, it was crazy. Now you don't have the transition. And so now you're just like, what do? You just say, hey, Jane, I'm going to go take a walk.
Yeah.
Does Jane get a time? Like, does she work from home? She works from home.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you guys like alternate?
She'll do the same thing. Yeah. It just kind of depends on who's available to do that kind of thing. And sometimes we'll go on walks with the kids, depending on.
That's not.
It's still a little bit of a transition.
Okay.
I mean,
I was like, you're not getting away from anything if you're walking with.
No,
the kids.
you're outside. I mean, you're still being a parent, but it's better than like working up until 5:30, going downstairs, and then staying inside, dealing with the kids. Going for a walk. I don't know, something
about
even
it.
If
Yeah,
it's the kids,
it's like a reset.
Beneficial. Yeah, it's still a reset. Like, oh, it's nice out.
So wait, my question is, how much sleep are you getting?
I'm getting an okay amount, I think.
If at any point you feel like I'm pushing too deep, you can just say, "Fuck no, I'm not answering that."
Okay. I think I'm getting decent sleep. I mean, it varies.
So,
sometimes there's a time when one of the kids thinks it's a party at 2:30 in the morning, and you're like, what?
Well, so the reason why I ask is because when I was married and working full time, technically more than full time, that was the time that I had. Was after the kids went to bed.
Yeah.
And so
yeah, that's basically my time now.
Right. And so now you're up against this wall of like, fuck. Okay, so your kids go to bed late because of the nature of the beast. Well, not anymore, right? Because now you're all home and you can kind of get on a earlier schedule. No. Because they're trained.
It's probably worse.
Really?
I mean, it's about the same. I think we haven't made any adjustments because we want to spend some time together after dinner. Right. We don't want to send them to bed right after dinner.
Right.
And a lot of times we're not finishing dinner till 6:30 or 7 because we try to cook pretty much every night. We don't eat a lot of fast food, or we don't eat out a lot.
No.
Or
yeah, same with me.
Pre-prepared foods. I mean, we do occasionally, like Fridays we'll eat frozen pizzas, but that's about it.
Right. My kids are here. That's usually what we do on our Fridays. We get a frozen pizza. Pizza Friday. It's Pizza Friday. But every other night of the week that they're here, I'm making food for them. Yeah. But we don't usually eat until we've been trying to get better at it. Like 7:30, 8 o'clock, we'll try to eat. That way after, because bedtime for them is 9:15, 9:30, somewhere in that ballpark. So, does it go down smoothly as I'd like it to? No, but hey. So that's the thing. That's my question. So that's now you're balancing that, like, the kids go to bed at a certain time, and then it's time for you and the wife, but you still have to find time to be for yourself. And there's a very small window there.
I know. Well, I think Jane and I are very, we're similar in a lot of ways. We need like our own reset time. So we typically in the evenings after the kids go down, we're doing our own thing. Sometime I'd say maybe 1 or 2 nights a week we're doing a shared activity, but like watch a movie or something.
Right.
But for the most part, it's like our own kind of personal reset time. So Jane's usually watching something on TV downstairs, and I'm upstairs falling asleep in my chair or something like that.
Mom and Dad, do you need to make note of this?
And then I hear her come up. This is what I do when I hear her come up.
For those of you only listening, you're just gonna have to go watch the video. You get that far of a lean?
Oh man, if I'm really tired, like
and there's no headrest on that chair.
No, I lean back and I lean my head back. It's not comfortable at all.
What do you have on? What, you just watching random YouTube videos?
Yeah, YouTube videos, sometimes movies. Like during the pandemic, I watched all the Marvel movies.
Me too.
Or most of the Marvel movies. Yeah. Because I hadn't seen, I saw like a handful of them, but I hadn't seen.
So I watched them in chronological order. Not when they were made, but like storyline wise.
I watched them in like when they were made.
Because I'm a true nerd.
It is kind of nerdy.
It is, but it actually kind of makes sense when you do it. It's just like, oh, this
really?
Some of it like follows in, and you're just like, oh, this is kind of neat, actually, how it works.
Maybe I'll rewatch. I'm actually making Jane watch them all now, so
you're forcing.
And she's enjoying them.
Tying her down, and
well, she's interested. I mean, she's got friends that are like super interested in it. They're good movies. They're good stories. They're entertaining. Can't beat it.
You can't beat it.
Good, cheap fun.
That's what it's all about. It's about having a good time. People like to trash on them because they're blockbuster movies, and there's, but I mean, they, for the most part, have really good stories. There's a lot of really great action sequences.
There's a lot worse movies out there.
There are a lot worse movies out there.
Did you watch Tenet?
Yeah, I did. It confused the fuck out of me.
I watched like the first 10 minutes the other night. I was like, what the fuck am I watching?
Like, wait a minute. I actually...
Like, I literally said that to myself. I'm like, what am I watching?
Dude, I actually was thinking about this the other day. I was like, I should watch that again. Because I watched Interstellar.
I love that movie.
Because I was on a Hamilton kick. Sue me.
That's the only reason why you watched it?
Yeah. I was about to buy the Hamilton.
Had you seen it before?
Yeah, I'd seen it before, but I didn't know that Hamilton was the watch. And you can get the Murph. It's Hamilton makes both those watches. They're real watches. And so anyways, I was like, oh, I'm gonna watch the movie because I could see the Hamiltons. And it made me think about Tenet. I was like, man, I need to go back and watch that because I wonder if it'll make more sense to me the second time I see it.
I'll try it again.
Because Inception, I understood Inception, right? Like as soon as I saw it, it all kind of made sense, and it's fun to go back and watch again because you might see some things you did. Like you get it for the most part on the first.
I should watch that.
The first run through, you get it. But Tenet, man, I was so fucking lost. I was so lost the whole time. Like I was just like, what what is happening? I
Yeah.
have no idea what's happening.
I do want to watch it. I want to give it another shot.
Maybe I'll do that tonight.
But I really like Christopher Nolan.
I do too.
He's like one of my favorite directors. I almost said architects. He's one of my favorite directors. He did. I always forget the name of the movie. The World War II movie. Battle.
No, Dad. There's a delay, so it'll take him like 5 minutes. I'm gonna get this. Fuck. It's about it's got flying the planes.
Yeah, it was a great movie.
Holy shit. Chat, help me out.
All right, I'm gonna Google.
I should mess with the latency on this so that people can be more.
This is a good podcast. You're gonna edit this part out, right?
Nope.
Dunkirk.
Oh, I was nowhere near that.
I kept thinking 1917, but that's...
Dude, that was a fantastic film too, and that's
I have not seen it. I need to watch it.
Oh, bro. Spoiler alert.
It's in World War One.
Yeah, no. Yes. It's meant to look like one shot.
Yeah, I know.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I want to watch it.
Speaking of like one shot, I watched Hardcore Henry the other day. Have you seen it?
No, I've seen clips.
It's fun to watch.
Yeah.
The story's kind of interesting, but because it's all first person, the sound is fun because everything is, especially if you've got surrounds, you can hear all the crazy stuff happening, and some of the ways they shot some of those scenes are just nuts, just absolutely nuts. It's fun. It's fun to watch. I mean, maybe it's gimmicky, but it's still fun.
Yeah.
All right. So you get home, you're watching YouTube videos, or you don't get home. You finish everything. You and Jane kind of just like
do a thing.
The kids are down. Leave me alone.
Kind of.
And then there are some nights. You don't really plan it. You just kind of go, hey, I'm going to watch this movie. You want to watch?
Yeah. It's usually Friday or Saturday, and right now it's the Marvel movies. So,
I mean,
or it's a show.
Shit or what?
Yes. I don't know. Yeah, it's usually a common interest. I think she will admit that a lot of the movies that she wants to watch are not that good.
Really? She will admit that?
I think so. Like rom-com type movies, I think she recognizes they're not good.
Sometimes rom-coms are really good.
I do not mind rom-coms. I just need to watch a good movie. I don't want to watch a crappy movie.
Wow. Wow. Those are some feelings.
I watched a couple weeks ago. We watched You've Got Mail.
What a great movie!
Great
classic.
Movie. I was like, this is a great movie. I would totally watch. I watched the whole thing.
Tom Hanks with the. He starts typing.
Yeah,
I love Tom Hanks, dude. Yeah. When Harry Met Sally.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen
Sleepless in Seattle.
Yeah, that's a good.
That's about an architect.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I mean, the 90s, the early to mid 90s were a great time for rom-coms.
Yeah.
Meg Ryan, she cleaned up.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
Well, I kind of want to go back
but now,
huh?
I was going to say, now we watch things that we have mutual interest, or I'll be like, hey, have you heard of this show?
Oh.
Like the last show we watched was The Boys.
Oh, yeah. I've been making my way through that. I'm on like a rotation.
Oh, man.
I'm on a rotation of shows. I'm rotating between The Boys. I just started Master of None.
James watched that.
It's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty good. Vikings. I'm finishing up Vikings. Let's see.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, and Discovery, or not Discovery. Enterprise.
Oh yeah,
that was the only Trek I hadn't seen. So I was like, I need to just suck it up and do it. And actually, I really like it. I do.
Well, you're the, I think, third person to like that.
Yeah,
show?
probably the third. Man, I don't care.
Yeah.
You know, it's. You were telling me, you're like, oh, it's hard to invest in the characters. I'm like, I get that, right? I get it. But I think that, go with me on this. I think that it's because that show did not happen during our formative years.
Yeah.
Right? Like, TNG will always be near and dear to my heart because
we were kids.
We were little kids. And it took us from little kids to kind of young men.
Yeah.
And it was a really good handoff from that to Deep Space Nine, even a little bit into Voyager, although we didn't keep up with Voyager past the first 2 seasons or so. I'll never forget, we sat down as a family on the premiere night for Voyager. Do you remember this?
I think I do.
I think it was
that.
it was a weekend, or was it in the summer or something?
It was probably in the summer.
And yeah.
But let's be honest, every month feels like summer in Texas.
It's true.
Basically.
God, I miss Texas. I want to go back. I'll have what she's having. Melissa, one of the viewers, my friend Melissa.
We have another viewer besides our fans?
Yeah. Hi, Melissa.
Who?
Somebody I know.
Oh, you know this person? Okay.
She's fantastic. She did a quote from When Harry Met Sally. So I kind of want to go back to this video game thing.
Yeah. Okay.
I really do. Like,
sounds good.
Because that's and correct me if I'm wrong. It seems like the a constant. I've known you for at least over 10 years. And
off and on.
Yeah, off and on. That's been huge for you. Like, literally, since we have children in the
Hi. Yeah.
It's not that time. We got at least.
It's not
even close.
He's saying hi.
Which one? The big one?
Yeah.
So
it's Uncle Pat. He sees Uncle Pat. He's like, I want to talk to Uncle Pat. Right. He doesn't understand podcasts.
Neither do I.
Or live streams.
So. So I've known you for a little while, and it seems like this video game thing has been I don't know how I'm going to ask the question, or if there's even a question to ask, or maybe it's just a conversation, but like, seems like you latched on pretty early to this way of, for lack of a better term, decompressing or escaping or turning off the. I don't want to say turning off the brain, because it is you do turn on your brain, and
it's great mental exercise, in my opinion. I wish I gamed more, but I don't. Sorry, what?
So you. I was just thinking. I was listening and thinking. So you latched onto this thing pretty early on. What was it about it? Because like there's a stigma, right? There is a stigma behind video games. People are like, oh, you play video games, you must be one of those people. Well, no.
It's not one of the first things I tell people I do in my spare time.
Of course you don't, because there's a stigma.
Yeah. As I've gotten older, I feel like it's less of a stigma. Like I just don't care anymore. But
right.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was just my form of entertainment. Like I guess however anyone wants to entertain themselves, sometimes it takes the form of books. Sometimes it takes the form of movies. It's like it's escapism, escaping your day-to-day life.
Right.
And kind of surrounding yourself in a story or a problem problem solving.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a video game. That's why I like video games, is because a lot of it's problem solving and kind of exercising that part of your brain to figure out the next piece of the puzzle.
Oh yeah, I mean the earliest puzzle that I remember was Myst,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like, what a wonderful puzzle, right? Like, so like for you and me, we were kind of at the, I don't want to say the bleeding edge. We were pretty close to the bleeding edge of kind of video game technology as it was like progressing through the years. It was like,
Mm-hmm.
I remember playing the early DOS games. You had to know the command to even pull the game up, put in the right floppy disk to make sure that you could play. And we went from that.
Sometimes that was the puzzle. How do you load the game?
Right. How do you load the, what's the command I got to type?
And then once you get the game running, you're like, oh, I guess I'm done.
Yeah.
What do I do next?
Yeah. Yeah. But like it's, and the weird thing is I didn't go down that road as deeply as you did. I did at some point in college.
Yeah. I guess what did you do for entertainment? I guess it was playing music, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I just wanted to drum all the time. I wanted to get better at drumming. And then and when I couldn't, I was outside and I was riding my skateboard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, I skateboarded.
I played basketball a lot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we did too. And that's the thing. Like so like my son, he loves playing video games. He loves it. And I have a hard time, shall I say, limiting him on that.
Because he loves it so much.
Because he loves it so much, but not because it's unhealthy. I haven't seen it be unhealthy yet. I mean, yeah, there's the normal, like, I don't want to stop, kind of thing, which most kids will do because they're kids.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever they're into, they're going to say the same thing, whether it's if they're knitting or they're drumming or they're playing guitar or they're playing video games. They're like, it's time for dinner. I don't want to stop. It's going to be the same. But as long as he's healthy, and that's kind of how I always saw you. It was like, you were playing a lot, sure, but like there was also, we'd go play basketball a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was outside all the time.
I mean, as soon as you learned to drive, mom and dad didn't have to move the car out of the driveway. Now it was your job, And we played. Yeah. We still played all the way through. I don't. Pretty much, we were teenagers. We kept playing.
Yeah.
So it was never.
We were still doing stuff. I was still in band and ROTC. It wasn't like it was my life.
No.
It was just something I did for fun on the weekends or whatever.
In the evenings when there was nothing else, or if it's raining outside, or
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of how I treat it. But now it's like, I don't know. I built this computer so I could do this, right? And it happened to come with a couple of games, right? Like my CPU came with a game. I think my graphics card came with a game. And a couple of people like you and my friend Jared, you guys recommended some games for me to play. And I got into them for a while. Like I would put the kids to bed and like, I don't know, I'd play for an hour or two and then go to bed. But it still hasn't stuck yet, which is weird.
I get on Steam periodically and I don't see you on very much anymore.
Yeah. Well, partly because when I get on Steam, you're not on, or you're playing something in VR and I can't play.
I haven't done VR in a while. I do want to replay Half-Life though. Man, that game's fantastic.
Dude, I'm so jealous. Every time I go to Best Buy, I'm like looking to see if they have any Oculus, and they're always sold out. Always.
Just get them on. You can get it at Amazon, dude.
Have they gone down in price yet?
Well, you can get they don't make the Rift S anymore.
That's the one you got, right?
That's the one I got. You can get the Quest 2. It's only $300, but you have to buy a cable.
I was going to say, that's the one where you got to cable it, right?
Yeah. And you have to, the way it works is you're not getting the images in real time, I guess.
Oh, weird.
your computer's processing the images and then sending the signal to your Quest 2 via like video. So there's like some compression involved. It's really good compression, but from what I've read, you can still have some weird artifacts when there's lots of stuff going on. Whereas with the Rift S, everything's rendered to your headset. You're not getting this weird like video compression.
So you're saying I missed the boat.
I think you can still get it. It just might be hard to get. The boat's out there. You just might have to swim a little bit.
I would love to get into it, just because it's really just for Half-Life.
Yeah, I mean that was awesome. Simulators are awesome. Flight simulators.
Yeah,
those are really cool. But
man, so you really do. You think that's such a good point that people don't think about. I mean, they do, but it's just there's such a stigma behind playing video games. Like, it really is. It's almost the same thing as reading a book or watching a movie or watching a TV show. It's literally, and I would argue almost, because you made the point, you're actually putting your brain to use.
Yeah.
Right?
Which is part of the reason why I don't do it now.
Because it just takes too much, like, ugh.
Yeah, I'm too tired for this. I just want to sit back and just absorb. I don't want to like have to think.
Why do you think I like shoot 'em ups? Like, I've gone back and played all the original Half-Life games because there's next to no thinking.
Much.
It's just
that's true.
Run through the thing and shoot all the things.
That's true.
Go where you're supposed to go. Oh my gosh. My phone's blowing up right now. Amber Alert. Child abduction.
Ooh. Yikes.
I was like, why is my phone blowing? What is happening right now? Yeah, that's why I play those games, because it's just turn the brain off. That's what I liked about Destiny. Destiny was like that. Destiny 2. I could just kind of run and gun and not have to think so hard, you know?
Yeah, but those types of games, you still have to like.
You got to get the character, and you got to
build your character. Like I do, like there was a time where I was playing a lot of online shooters, like Battlefield series. Those are pretty fun to a point, because there's not much thinking that goes along. You just log in and start just trying to shoot as many people as you can. But it's hard to stay at it for a long time.
Murder a bunch of people.
Yeah, it's hard to stay at it for a long time, because there are people that, I don't know how people could do this. There are people that do it day in and day out. They are basically professionals.
Yeah, they're and they stream. They make a job out of it.
Well, you log in and you're dead in like 3 seconds. And you're like, what happened? So you respawn dead in 4 seconds. Like, this isn't fun.
Dude, I tried to play Apex Legends. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't. I don't know. I don't know what it is about that game. I can't do it.
Yeah. So I think people that want to do video games should find a healthy balance. Like,
yeah, but how do you do that? Is it something that you always just inherently had? I mean, it seemed like it.
Yeah, I guess so. I always had something going on.
No, I don't buy it. But that was more of a mindset for you, don't you think?
Yeah, I guess so.
Because like, you were pretty, and I could be wrong. Mom and Dad can definitely chime in if they feel like it's necessary. But like, it always seemed like you always had this, like, I don't know what the word is. Maybe the sense of like
self-discipline.
Yeah, self-discipline, responsibility. Like, you'd come home and you'd at some point you'd make your way upstairs to your room, close the door, put on the old headphones and the soundtracks, and crank away at your homework without somebody twisting your arm about it. You know what I mean? Like, you always just had this thing.
That's true.
And I never knew if it was just because you were super hyper motivated to do well, or if you were super disciplined, or if you just didn't want anybody fucking hassling you, or if you just liked being alone. It was just like, I never had that. I always like, I got to do home. Like, I don't want to do this. It's dumb. I want to do what I want to do.
Oh man.
You were always so good at it, though.
I don't know. I think,
and the thing is that nobody beat you up about it. Like nobody ever, I don't think, ever had to like get upstairs and do your shit.
I think mom and dad had to be like, "Did you do your homework yet?"
Yeah, you're like, times. "Yeah, of course I did."
Periodically,
you'd always be like, "Yeah, of course I did. I'm done."
I don't know. I've always been this way. It's like, it's hard to remember that far back, but at least now, like, I'll give you what I do now. Say I'm like really busy at work, that it requires some extra time.
Okay.
At some point.
Outside of the 40 hours, you mean, like overtime kind of stuff?
Outside of the 40 hours. Yeah, overtime. Sometimes it's stuff that you can push, or you think it might require extra time. Sometimes it's stuff that you can just wait till the next day and you can take care of it. I told my former boss, now no longer my boss, because I don't work with him anymore. But I was just like, because he was commenting, "Yeah, you're up till midnight, huh?" I'm like, "Yeah, well, put the kids to bed, I get a few hours to squeeze in some time." But it's just a matter of, what am I going to be able to sleep tonight? Like, in terms of like,
what
am I going to be able to fall asleep tonight without thinking about work? If I'm not, I should probably work a little bit, and that'll make me feel a little better about falling asleep.
Whoa.
If I don't, it's going to be really hard to fall asleep because I'll be worrying about this thing that I need to do.
You put that much pressure on yourself for work?
Oh yeah, dude.
Is it just because you're in charge of the shit?
No, it's kind of inherent in our industry. Architects are gluttons for self-punishment.
Inherent in the industry, or inherent in like kind of
architecture?
Kind of you.
No, me. I mean, my personality matches architecture perfectly. But it's architecture. Like, it's just, they train you to, like, during school, you're basically trained to work constantly. Like, when I was in grad school, every week I pulled at least one all night.
I remember, yeah.
It was just how it was. It's all about who works the hardest.
Not because you had to, but because if you didn't, then you were the guy that was...
I probably could have been smarter about it, yeah. I don't think I necessarily had to, but it was kind of like you were kind of expected to.
Ugh. I don't like that.
Yeah, it kind of sucks.
That's gross.
Our industry as a whole is like that. Still.
Man, so how much of that translate? I mean, that had to have been with you for a long time, though, right? Like, that's kind of where I'm going. Like, it's like you had that self-discipline, whether it was getting your schoolwork done or not spending 72 hours over the entire weekend playing video games nonstop. Like, I mean, there were days that you did that, but it was like you still had a social life. You still went out. You still did the things. Like you had the self-discipline to turn the thing off.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if people are going to do, like, that's the thing. Like, people don't often have that. I know I didn't have it for a while. There was a time in college where I played World of Warcraft for pretty much a week straight. It was, it was spring break. Wild times. Spring break.
Wow.
But you had got me on this one server, and everybody on our server was from Australia.
Australian.
Yeah. So I was like, the only time I'm in it.
Shout out to the Dragonblight server. Shout out to was that Jonathan Davis syndrome?
Devil's Brigade?
Was that the guild? Oh, that was the guild that I made. Yeah. Devil's Brigade.
And the Jonathan Davis syndrome, that was another one.
Yeah.
I almost reinstalled it just to see. Just to see.
Yeah.
It's been so long. It's been almost 20 years. But so that's what happened to me, right? Like it was spring break. I had nothing to do. Living in an apartment with my friend. Like, I don't know how much you and I played together during that time. Maybe a little bit here and there.
A little bit. Yeah, I remember playing them.
And when I finally moved into my own apartment, I remember you and I playing together a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
But no, that week I knew I had a problem because at the end of the week I went downstairs and I looked in the kitchen and like the whole dining room table was covered in like Hot Pockets boxes.
Whoa.
And like,
dude,
I was like, oh shit. I should probably stop.
Yeah.
Before this gets out of hand. And luckily, like I said, luckily it was spring break. So I had absolutely nothing else going on. So arguably it was a good use of my spring break. But that could have been a recipe for disaster, you know, like,
yeah,
I don't know. And maybe that was a wake up call for me in the sense that like, okay, I can't get this into it because when I do, I'm going to go full force. And maybe part of me is kicking myself because I could be a professional gamer by now, making thousands of dollars a month. I was never that good.
Nah, you don't want to be that good because it's like it becomes a job and
right, exactly
what you enjoy. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think I just always had I don't know, I just never let myself forget what I needed to do in real life.
Where's that fucking come from? I don't have that shit.
I don't know.
We have the same parents.
Related.
How are we so different?
I don't know. I think it's just yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's like I think I'll just go back to what I said earlier. It's just a matter of if you put it off, will you be able to fall asleep tonight? You know.
Yeah, but you weren't the same way with raids.
What do you mean?
Raids in World of Warcraft. But
yeah.
put it off now. We'll be able to go to sleep.
Well, yeah, because it didn't matter. It doesn't matter.
No.
Video games don't matter. I mean, other than the fact that you might use it for enjoyment. Other than that, raids don't matter.
No.
No. I mean, there might be some people that think they matter to themselves, which is fine. But for me, they didn't matter.
Where's that line though? Where's the line between if I don't get this shit done tonight, I'm not gonna be able to sleep, and I need to go to sleep because if I don't go to sleep, I'm not gonna wake up on time tomorrow. Like there has to be a line somewhere, right? Like what if you don't get the shit done?
Well, yeah. The line for me was like, okay, raids don't pay me money.
No, I mean, I'm not even talking about raids anymore. I'm talking about work now. Like, if it's like I got to get the thing done, and I won't be able to sleep, but at the same time, you have to sleep, otherwise you're gonna be useless as fuck tomorrow. Yeah,
no, I still sleep. I don't pull all-nighters. In grad school, I pulled all-nighters, but now I don't pull all-nighters.
It's not worth it, even though actual money is on the line now.
Yeah,
you kind of still have to draw a line.
Yeah, no, I usually will put in as much time as I can in the evening before Jane calls me to bed, and that's my cue. I gotta turn it off and go to bed. Very rarely, occasionally, like if I'm on a really hard deadline, I'll stay up pretty late. But for the most part, I still go to bed at a decent time, normal time.
Man.
And I just, even if I am able to just do an hour of work, sometimes that's just enough, like to make me feel better about going to sleep and not have to worry about it. You know, I can at least tell myself I made a dent in whatever it was that I was trying to get done.
Oh, you know, it's funny. I was talking to a coworker today and I was telling her, I was like, I have no desire to be a leader or a supervisor, any of that right now. I've taken that position more times than I can count in my life. sometimes by force, somebody has given me that, like, here, you're the leader. Sometimes I've taken it by force, like somebody has to fucking lead. Sometimes it's just by nature of the beast, I end up being the leader. Like, I am so pleased as punch to be a worker bee right now. Mm-hmm. Just leave me alone. I don't want to make any decisions. I'm not counseling anybody. I'm not mentoring anybody. I'm not, none of that. Because when I clock out at the end of the day, like today, I was done. 4:30. I hit clock out on my computer. Done. And I don't think about work.
That's good.
If something's due tomorrow, I'm clocked out. Don't care.
That's good.
You're like, no, I can't do that.
I can't do that. I wish I could do that.
How?
Some of it's my own self-imposed, though.
I mean, if you're not on the clock, you're not on the clock. But I get it, right? Like I get, like none of my stuff's high stakes. That's also the beauty of it, right? Like none of my stuff is, for the most part, none of it's high stakes. Like nobody's. Sometimes there's some finance things where it's like, if I don't get this thing done, there's like money waiting, and if we don't get this right, like the government's not going to be cool with how we've whatever. Yeah. Rarely does that happen. And even then,
do you have deadlines?
It doesn't happen because I don't put myself in that situation.
Do you have deadlines?
Yeah, I've got deadlines.
Okay. That's usually what drives me is like, I've just got deadlines I have to meet. But
the best part is that they're not solely on me. Right? Yeah. Like a lot of times I'll send somebody, like I'll work on a procedure or a document or something. I'll send it to somebody for review or approval or whatever. And if they take 3 months, it's not my problem. I did what I was supposed to do. I did my part. Yeah. I sent it to you. You sat on it for 3 months. Now it's late. Your fault, not mine.
Yeah. Whereas your project manager is probably like, what's going on? I can't sleep.
I don't have a project manager, but I do have a manager. Oh. And he's the same. He's in the same boat. He's like, well, it's not at us. I'm like, yep, not at us. Not my problem. I did what I was supposed to do. Mm-hmm. But as a project manager, oh my gosh, why did you do this? Did you do it because you thought it was? You didn't set out to do this, right?
No, nobody sets out to be a project manager.
I don't think so.
No, not in architecture. Usually, when you graduate, I mean, you go to school to become a designer. I mean, that's what you kind of learn. You learn about design and how to work. And then you come out and you think you're going to be the next Frank Gehry or Todd Owando or somebody. And then you just kind of, the way the career is, there's very few coveted design positions. Some people kind of gravitate towards more technical stuff, like I did for a while. I was a project architect for a while, and then which is more technically oriented. They do a lot of the figuring out how the building goes together.
So, and then less on the design and more on the like.
There's some design still.
Well, you have to, right? Like there has to be.
You're designing at a micro level as opposed to a macro level,
right? More of like,
and then,
how are we going to solve this problem? These wires have to go here, but in order for them to go there, there has to be a wall, or there has to be a right.
Yeah,
it's more practical design than it is.
Yeah, it's practical.
And there's probably a shit ton of creativity in there.
Oh yeah, totally.
There's all kinds of crazy problems that have to be solved.
Yeah, and you're figuring out problems. You're drawing. When construction is going on, you're making sure that the contractor's building it per your drawings, and it's actually pretty fun. And then I've noticed that good project managers are kind of hard to find in our industry. There's a lot of really bad ones and mediocre ones, but there's not really many good ones.
What makes them bad though? Like, in what sense? Like they just can't meet their deadlines, or they can't motivate their people to help meet the deadlines, or they're just terrible leaders, or?
I don't know. I guess if there's project managers that just don't, they're kind of in the background. They're not leading the process. They're not, making sure that the design teams or the technical teams have everything that they need to keep moving forward.
It just sounds like bad leadership.
Bad communicators. And that's kind of what I've noticed. I've been pretty lucky. I've worked with pretty good PMs in my day, but I've just noticed just in the 3 firms that I've worked for, I think it's hard to find a PM that is good at communicating with clients, project teams, generally knows how buildings go together. Decent.
Sorry, that sounds
decent
funny
design.
You would think like
There's some project managers that start project management super early in their careers and don't really have an opportunity to figure out how buildings go together. It happens.
wow. So they went to school for architecture, but then shortly thereafter they got this PM job and they forgot how to do the stuff.
Yeah.
But you know what? At the end of the day, how much of your job is how the building goes together, and how much of it is I have a team of people, we need to make this deadline under this budget, and you're going to motivate them. Like, how much of it do you really need to know? Right? As a leader, I've noticed over my 18, 20 some odd years of leading, like sometimes I don't have to know that much. I just have to make sure that my people know, and I can advocate for them and kind of express what they're telling me to my higher ups.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm not saying you don't have to know that everything about how a building goes together. I don't know everything about how a building goes together.
Sure, it helps because then
I think it helps a lot because then you can kind of challenge the teams.
Yeah.
If they're saying one thing, like we can't make this deadline because we don't have enough time. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. Let's take a step back. What are you drawing?
Yeah, show me.
Why do you think you have to draw this? Like if a lot of times it's teams that are drawing too much. It's like, don't draw that. Just don't draw it. You don't have to draw that.
What are you doing?
So I think just having an understanding of how drawings go together and just being able to challenge the team on stuff that they think they're supposed to be doing, but they don't necessarily have to do.
I'm by no means defending the guy who doesn't know anything. Because
I don't know. Like I said, I don't know everything.
No.
I feel like the farther I'm away from actually doing the drawings, the less I know.
Well, yeah, because software gets updated and you're kind of like, what is that? What was that? What did you do?
Well, yeah, I'm just not drawing every day like I used to. So.
But the fundamentals, and that's I think that's where a good leader is made, right? Like a good leader knows, they have the eye for like what it takes to do something. Mm-hmm. You don't have to fully understand the software or fully be up to speed on the latest processes, but you know the concept and you know what's going on. It's the same with music. Mm-hmm. When I was teaching music, it was the same idea. Like I could jump back into any drumline right now and teach any drumline. I haven't taught drumline. I haven't written drumline music in years. Like I haven't been around it, but I could jump back in because I know the fundamentals and I know the concepts and I know what they're trying to achieve. Yeah. And I know that they're spinning their wheels if they're doing something, like I can see right through the bullshit. And that's the experience that you want in a project manager.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. But how do you feel about it?
I'm okay with it.
Of course you are, because some of your people might be listening right now.
No, at this point in my career, I'm totally fine with it. I get to interact with a lot of different people. I feel like having somebody that can earn the trust of clients is important. I feel like I do that pretty well.
I don't find you trustworthy at all.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, I was late to the podcast.
You're very late.
So, yeah.
Your white balance is so weird now. You look green.
I do? Oh, man.
Is the window open? Sun's going down?
Sun's going down. I've got a LED light on. Something like that. Anyway, at this point where I am in my career, I feel like here's my motivation right now.
Right.
I want to be of the most value to whoever is paying me. And I think that as of right now, at this point in my career, the most value I have is project management.
Interesting.
So that's why I'm good with what I'm doing right now. I feel like I can provide the most value right now as a project manager. That might change down the line. There are sometimes some days where I miss drawings. Some days I miss like trying to figure out design and stuff like that. But I have some personal projects and stuff that I have in mind, so I feel like I can get a lot of that personally if I need it. But as of right now, I still get to help figure out that kind of stuff. I still get to help figure out design problems.
So, from my perspective, as your little brother,
very little.
Very little. So little. Yep. Prettier.
2 years.
With less hair.
Yeah.
How did that fucking happen? Anyway. This is going to sound weird, but just go with it. I always imagined that if I won a fuck ton of money, right? Lottery or whatever, you would be one of my first calls.
Oh, in terms of like designing and stuff like that?
Yeah. I'd be like, dude, I'm buying a chunk of land. First of all, I need you to help me figure out what land I should buy. And then we're going to build a house and I need you to design it because this is what I want.
Yeah.
Like, wasn't that the kind of the dream? Like you did this architecture thing so that you could be a rock star in architecture, right? Like you wanted to be a huge name, but like,
yeah,
I think probably the further you got into it, the reality of it is that doesn't really ever happen, especially nowadays. No. Like that doesn't seem like that's a thing nowadays. There's no like hotshot architect that everybody knows. There's no Frank Gehry. There's no Frank Lloyd Wright. Why are they all called Frank? But like, there's no.
He's still practicing Frank Gehry.
Right, but there's no more rock stars anymore. Like,
yeah, there are.
Are there?
Yeah, Jeannie Gang, Chicago.
Household names.
Jeannie Gang.
Really?
Zaha Hadid.
Really? Household name.
Oh, she passed away. Zaha is definitely household. Jeannie Gang, if she's not household, she will be very soon because she's getting all these big giant projects that.
How do you get to that?
Winning awards.
How do you make a name for yourself like that? If you climb, it's kind of where I'm going, right? Like you got into this gig and you were doing an internship for a while. Then you finally got hired and you were doing entry level kind of work, and you kept working, Eventually, you make it to a project manager. Then what? Like you're not known for your design anymore. You're known for project managing, which is kind of isn't that kind of the step by step progression through this job? Like, do you even need your certifications anymore as a project manager?
Technically, no. You don't need to be a licensed architect to be a project manager. Firms generally want some sort of certification.
Oh, yeah, of course.
But you don't necessarily have to be. I think I think firms generally want somebody that's a licensed architect or engineer to be a project manager, because that shows your clients and it shows your internal teams that you theoretically are qualified to do the work yourself if you needed to, sure. You should be able to lead a team to do it. So what was your question?
It keeps you sharp, but like, so yeah. I guess the question in there is like,
so it's like trying to make it to the NBA.
Okay.
Very few people make it to the NBA. You have to be extremely like top tier talent or top tier drive. And in our industry, sometimes it's top tier cutthroat ability to make it to that top design. You're one of the few designers on the project.
Right, but they didn't take project manager jobs, did they?
No, some people refuse to. Some people,
Right? Like these big household
Here's the
names,
thing.
they didn't take that gig because they just was like, nah, I'm gonna keep drawing. I'm gonna keep drawing.
yeah. Well, here's the thing.
But then there's a lot of
And this is
sacrifice in there because there's no money in it.
Here's the thing. Of all the designers I've known in my professional career, this is no offense to my designer friends, they would make terrible project managers. I think most of them would say that.
Right, because they're mostly artists, right? Like on some level,
Yeah,
like,
it's like herding cats. As a project manager, you're like herding cats. Right. So I think it takes there's a certain personality type that becomes a project manager, and I just happen to fit that personality.
Yeah, you do.
Type. I was a good designer. I mean, I know everybody thinks they're a good designer, but I was a pretty good designer.
I like your stuff.
I still have a pretty good design eye. But there's very few people that, at least in our profession, where you're dealing with a bunch of creative people, artists, that kind of thing, that have the mindset for project management. It's just, and I went into it because there was a need for it at my first firm, and my second firm, need for project management, and my third firm, need for project management. So, and I think I'm pretty decent I'm pretty good at it. So that's why I do it.
Clearly, you keep getting hired for it.
Yeah.
You got a pretty good record.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good.
At least you're really good at writing resumes.
It's not all just resumes. You gotta interview. You gotta have.
Oh, dude, I'm not. You're like the same as me. I'm not worried at all. Like, just the other day, one of my friends messaged me at work, and she's like, "Oh, there's this job. You totally got to go for it. It's an internal hire in a different department." And I was like, I don't know. And so I messaged one of my other friends. I'm like, "Hey, so and so says I should go for this job. What do you think?" And she's like, "Do it, just to keep your interview skills up." And I'm like,
Yeah.
Need the interview skills, man. Like,
it does help. I've been on, man, since I first met, towards the end of when I left my first firm, I've been on 1, 2, 3, I guess 4 interviews.
That's
in the last 3 years. It helps.
Does it? I mean, I feel like I got the juice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, some people have more juice than others.
I don't know. I'm just comfortable with people, right? Like,
yeah.
Like, so, like, you can't frazzle me or easily. You know, like if I don't know you and you're asking me questions about me, and it's all on the resume, like I'm not gonna pull any punches. I'm not gonna try to be something that I'm not. I'm just gonna be who I am. And if you like me, you like me. If you don't, you don't.
That's the key. Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
A lot of people get so frazzled and freaked out about interviews, and
I've never had a problem with interviews.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like you seem like me. Like you just you don't need the practice. It's nice to do it, sure, just to
I think it's helpful.
Kind of a warm and fuzzy that you still got it, but
yeah,
I'm not going to go to an interview just to practice.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to an interview because I want the job.
You should go because it's an interesting opportunity, not because you want to practice. Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to take time out of my day to go practice interviewing. Fine.
Yeah.
I've interviewed my entire life. It's called being a musician. Auditions. That's an interview.
Indeed.
Right? When was the last time you played that horn? You sold it, you son of a...
No, I have it. It's in my closet.
In the closet. Oh, that closet right there.
Yeah. I probably played it in 2016. Was probably the last time I played it.
Wow.
I think I played it when he was like 1-ish. If I remember correctly.
Still got it, don't you?
I was terrible, but I could still play it. It needs a new, oh man, it needs to be repadded.
I was gonna say, probably needs
I
to
mean,
be
that thing went through 4 years of marching band, and I never got it fixed. The pads are all falling off.
You never took it in to get new pads or anything?
Because when I was done with high school, I was like done playing, pretty much.
Yeah.
I played it maybe 3 times since high school.
That's nuts.
Which is sad, but I don't know. When you live in downtown Chicago, it's like you don't want to bust out a saxophone and then...
Could have made some money on the street corner.
That's true. I could have. Dang it.
You had plenty of repertoire.
Mm.
Plenty.
Mm-hmm.
What was that? What was that like?
What?
Being a musician, because you always had... Hey, God, dude, you're so fucking cool. You always had this, like...
This is the first time you ever told me that. That's weird.
No, come on. Probably. To your face, at least.
It's usually the opposite.
To your face.
Dude, what?
No, you always had this. You've always had, or you did. I don't know about anymore. You're probably not cool anymore. But you had this like really good balance of like of the art, but also like we were talking about earlier, this like super responsible, self kind of motivated. You don't come across a lot of artists that are like that. And you weren't a shitty artist. That's what I'm kind of saying. It's like you weren't like every time you did something artful, it was really good.
Thanks, man.
Well, I don't think anybody would disagree. I mean, you could talk to any of our musician friends, and if they've been around long enough, any of our physical art friends, people who've seen you draw and stuff like that, like nobody's going to disagree with that. So it's always been kind of fascinating to me that you've had this like incredible balance between really responsible, but also incredibly artful and expressive. Like I remember, and you know what? I'm not going to mention names. There was a time that we played in a saxophone ensemble together. I'm going to go out there and say, probably biasedly, you were my favorite soprano player. I might take shit for this later if somebody happens to be listening.
Thanks, man.
I probably is. I'm probably biased, right? Like that. We'll just chalk it up to that.
Yeah, you're biased. Yeah, I've always kind of prided myself on that kind of dichotomy, if you will, I guess. Like, it's kind of like, I'm going back to the basketball analogy. It's like when I play basketball for fun in my spare time and, you know, the teams are getting picked and
nobody picks you.
I'm the last guy to be picked because they see this big kind of dorky white guy on the team on the floor. Right. Like, who's going to pick that guy?
Then you're cranking out threes and everybody's like, what the fuck?
And I just start dominating. I don't know. It's kind of like that. It's like every once in a while I still get those moments because I'm a project manager, but every once in a while I'll pull out something that maybe like something with a software that maybe a young designer would know, but not necessarily a project manager would typically know. I'll be like, oh yeah, are you sure you synced your model? Are you sure you synced? Because I'm thinking you may not have synced.
And they're like, what?
What? That's a really stupid example, but yeah. But
still, like that's the kind of thing that's like we were touching on earlier. It's like you still have that depth of knowledge that, you know, when you say shit like that to people that you're leading, you get respect points.
Yeah.
Right? Like all of a sudden they're going, oh shit, he knows my job. Right? That's gold. When you're a leader and you kind of prove to somebody that you're leading that you know their job just as well as they do, or maybe you know some shit that they don't know, Now you've got street cred, and they're going to follow you even more because they believe in you now. They trust you.
Yeah, definitely. And my whole life, I mean, when I was going back to the whole dichotomy thing, I mean, my whole high school was that dichotomy.
I know. I watched it.
It was band and ROTC.
I know.
It's like, I don't know, it's just kind of melded two worlds, and I still kind of, I guess I still kind of do in a certain way, meld the creative side with the technical.
Yeah, because ROTC was very, how shall we say, maybe not the opposite of
junior ROTC.
Right. It was not the opposite of creative, but it kind of was.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's the military. The military does not discourage creativity.
There's not that many opportunities for it.
There are. You just have to. You got to know where to look.
To find.
You know.
Yeah. My one creative contribution to our junior ROTC detachment was I say our because you were in it for 1 year.
I'm still bitter about that.
What was it? There was so we had, we had promotion boards. Is that what it was?
You know why I stopped, right?
Hold on.
Okay.
I'm gonna thought.
All right. Promotion boards.
Promotion boards. The typical way to do it was you had to have like 5 cadet officers on each promotion board.
Juniors and seniors, for the most part.
Yeah, and they had to be officers or whatever. Right. And there was like a certain number of questions. You had to have 5 questions. Each person had to ask a question, and then however the cadet responded, you get like a score or something like that. And then if you pass the promotion board, that means you can be promoted.
Oh, well, and the inspection, uniform inspection.
Yeah, the inspection was factored into it. There was like a whole bunch of things that were factored in. I can't remember. There was like a marching part.
Was there?
I think.
Oh, a drill part. Yeah. We had to do facing movements and. Yeah.
So like the 3 or 4 different factors kind of got added up, and then if you got a certain score, you made it. You were promoted. Are we dropping? We're probably dropping.
No. Actually, this is the most amount of viewers I've ever had.
Seriously? Yeah. How many? 3? 2?
We peaked at 5.
What?
We're now seem to be hovering around 4.
Oh, hey, I'll take it.
Right?
Every time I watch you, it's 1. The robot, the bot. Anyway, so my creative solution, because there were like times when kids couldn't make it to these promotion boards, like for whatever reason, because they were always after school. No, when they were after school.
Oh, like, that's right. Right.
Or something like that. So I was I'm not bragging. I was the cadet wing commander. I was like the one.
Definitely bragging.
I was. There are parts of my life where I thought I peaked in high school, just so you're aware.
Not only were you the cadet wing commander, you were cadet wing commander your first semester, which means you didn't have to do shit your second semester.
That's
you were
true.
the highest ranking motherfucker. You didn't do anything. That's
true, except help people march, that kind of thing. I was like retired.
Yeah. You're retired.
Anyway, my creative solution,
back to that
because there were,
by the way.
Okay.
That's fascinating. That's good podcast shit right there.
So my creative solution, this is where creativity came into play. I was like, what if somebody can't make it? I was already hearing rumblings. There were some kids that couldn't make it. I mean, you're counting on 5 people to be in the room. What if somebody doesn't make it? So I created a 4-person backup plan that could be implemented in case somebody couldn't make it.
Oh, you mean one of the board members?
Yeah. So there was like so every board member had 5 or had 1 question.
Right.
So I basically came up with what if there's 4 board members, but you still have to ask 5 questions, so everyone's weighted the same way.
Just somebody.
So I basically created a process.
Somebody asks
I think it was the board leader or whatever asked 2 questions. That was my solution. But
Fantastic.
you know, I was doing creative stuff in junior ROTC. Okay, that was just cut that story out. That was
It's not getting cut. It's not getting cut.
Yeah.
Nope.
So yeah, there have been times in my career where I thought I peaked in high school.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because you accomplish something at such a young age. Like cadet wing commander was kind of an accomplishment.
Well, okay. So I'm going to say, yes, I can agree with you on that, only because we had such a massive school.
Yeah.
Right. Like if it was
smaller, not as much of
it would be like, oh, well, you were.
But we had 300 people
Yeah.
in the junior ROTC department, detachment. And there were like, I don't know, 50 officers, maybe more.
Probably more than that, right?
That went to summer leadership school.
Oh, that's right.
And to be the one that was selected, you're the selected one. I was like, holy crap.
First semester.
I peaked. Yeah. So there was a period early in my career in architecture, making money. I was like, I feel like I'm not
Wow.
going anywhere.
Really?
I feel like I peaked in high school. Not seriously. I would occasionally wonder if I peaked in high school. Like I think it was just a matter of me trying to find my niche.
Well, that's because high school, that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to peak at your senior year, which is what you did.
Yeah.
That's what you did.
My advice to my kids is like, you know, if you do well, yes, that's great. I'm going to be very proud of you. Don't kill yourself. There's a whole life out there outside of high school.
Right. If you're going to peak in high school, you're going to do it your senior year, which is right. I don't feel like I ever peaked in high school. I don't know. Like for me, I obviously.
In hindsight, I did not peak in high school, but
No, you didn't.
There were times when I thought I did.
Yeah, no, not even close. Like, because I was just going to say a little bit of my story, which may have something similar with yours. So what happened to me was I graduated and I was like the guy as far as drums are concerned at my high school. Was I the best all around percussionist? Probably not, because I was not that great at mallets. I wasn't great at reading like notes, music.
Well, I wasn't going to say it out loud.
No, I know what you're going to say.
You were terrible.
I was terrible at it. I was terrible at mallets. I was terrible. Okay. I knew my scales, right? Like I knew basics. I could get by. I knew what I was doing.
I know. I'm just kidding.
Especially by the time I was a senior. But I was a drum captain 2 years in a row, junior and senior year in high school. I made the snare line as a freshman, right? Like,
sorry.
What?
Dad texted. I was just laughing at it.
Dad was texting you? There's a whole chat right here.
I know.
So
maybe he doesn't want public.
That's true. So I very much could have thought that I peaked, but what probably made me not feel like I peaked was that I went to audition for UNT. Was it summer before my freshman year? During my senior, I don't remember when. Sometime before my freshman year at UNT, I went to go audition at UNT. And as soon as I finished with that audition process, I had to play snare drum, I had to play timpani, I had to play mallets, I had to play drum set. And I came out of that audition process feeling like shit. Like I was the worst.
Mm-hmm.
But in high school, I felt like I was the best. And I had peaked. And then when I got to the college interview audition and went through that process, I came out, Mom was there. I came out of the percussion ensemble room and I was just like, I'm the worst. They're not going to let me in. Like, there's no way they're going to let me in this school. And they did. And I got better, right? And for me, I feel like I always had that, long story short, I feel like I always had that perspective of like, there's something always, especially after that moment, there was always something there that I could achieve. I was never going to peak, essentially. I'm never going to reach a peak or a prime or you know what I mean? Like there's always something that I can get better at. Always. There's always something, no matter
That's
what
a good
I'm
mentality.
doing.
Yeah, that's a great mentality to have. It's always, that's kind of what my mentality is now. There's always something I can improve at. Always.
How are you with some of that alone time? Let me bring it full circle.
What? How am I with the alone time?
Reset. Remember who you are. Is it something you have to force, or is it kind of a routine now? Is it like?
It's mostly a routine.
Does Jane ever say like, get out of here"?
No.
Can she see it in you? She's like, "Yo, you need to go do something. Go kill some zombies or something."
Every once in a while, like if it's been an especially stressful period and I'm like, I don't know, venting a lot, she usually will say, you know, why don't you go to the driving range or something like that.
Driving range? Oh, that's right. You took golf for like a semester or something in college, right?
Yeah, I love going to the driving range.
Do you really?
But it's been a while since I've been. But yeah. But yeah, sometimes she'll be like, just go. But for the most part, I don't really let my stress kind of bleed into our relationship very often. I mean, there are times when I'm stressed at work, but we're all vent. But for the most part, it's pretty smooth. And my me time is usually, like I said before, it's like kids go to bed. Jane is very similar to me in that she needs her kind of alone time and
man, that's fantastic
space. So we kind of part ways and then reconvene when we go to bed, and it's good. I love it. I mean, that's. I remember you were a few months ago when you and I were playing a little bit of video games together, and you were like, "How are you able to do this?" I'm like, "It's what I do sometimes after the kids go to bed. I just play the video games and reset."
You guys ever take time together though? I mean, obviously you do to watch movies and shit, but like,
yeah.
You've got your in-laws in pretty close, so you can drop the kids off over there and do whatever, right?
Yeah, it hasn't been as much during the pandemic.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Because my in-laws are here 4 days a week, and when we don't want to
you don't want to overburden.
We don't want to overburden them with like date nights and stuff like that. And plus, we just haven't felt comfortable about doing a lot of date nights. So we actually just went on a double date last weekend with some friends of ours. So I think we'll start incorporating that more now that Illinois is more opened up.
Oh, dude, I was at the grocery store the other day. People are not wearing masks.
Yeah.
Well, some people.
I'd say probably 20% probably were not wearing masks last time I went.
It kind of weirds me out. And I'm fully vaccinated, and I still go in and I put a mask on just because I'm like, I feel weird. Like,
I'm still doing it too. I'm sure there'll be a period where I'll take it off.
I'm sure I will too. But like, I know a guy, I know a guy who supposedly got it after having the vaccination. I don't know which vaccination he got.
You can still get it.
And I was like, well, and that's kind of, I heard this and I was like, well, I'm probably going to keep my mask on for a little while longer, because you know what? At the very end of the day, dude, last year, I didn't catch anything.
Yeah.
Like not a cold, nothing.
I got a cold because somehow Freddie picked up, or sorry, my younger one picked up.
I remember this.
A cold somehow because he hasn't really been exposed much because he's a pandemic baby.
Damn.
And
that shit over his head. Pandemic baby.
But he picked up something, and so
why did he do that?
Just happens. Stuff's in the air, man. Stuff that you and I are immune to. He picked some up, and then I think I might be confusing it. the older one might have gotten something.
Somebody was sick. I don't remember who it was.
Yeah, that's what it was. He was at daycare.
Yes, you're right.
He ended up getting it during the pandemic. He got a cold.
Yeah, that's what I was like. I don't remember how.
And we all got it. So.
Ugh.
How much?
Mom says she thinks you get her thinking. You're thinking from her.
My thinking?
Yeah. About just get it done. Get it done so you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's my mentality.
Dad doesn't know how to use chat.
So this is what he texted me. The UFO report is coming out in a few days. John, there's a reason you have a larger than normal cranium.
What? We're in the middle of a podcast. He knows we're in the middle of a podcast. He's texting you that?
Yeah.
Right. Did he text me?
I don't know. It might have been just for me.
Oh, no. That was both of us. Oh, now my phone's asking me if I want to receive wireless emergency alerts. I didn't know I had a choice. Yeah, Dad's texting both of us in the same group chat.
Should we talk about UFOs before we hang out?
Dude. So, I have yet to watch there's a new video that says something about the Navy was surrounded on their radar.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it yet. Is this?
Oh, you haven't watched
it? Is it worth it? Is it totally legit? Am I going to freak out?
I don't know. Hold on a second. My older one is asking me a question. What's up?
We're watching you on TV.
You were watching me?
They're one of the viewers.
They were one of the viewers on our television.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Nice. Oh, I hope I didn't say any bad words. Okay, good.
Just words. They're just words.
Yeah, so what was I saying?
UFOs. The one that surrounded the Navy.
I was like, this could be anything. I mean, it's just radar blips.
Is that all it is?
Yeah.
I don't give a shit then.
I don't know. I'm conflicted.
Is it compelling?
Just watch it.
All right.
I don't know. It might mean more to you since you were in the Navy.
I mean, I did learn about radar and how to read it and how to fix it.
If I understood correctly, and I don't know if the people that I was reading interpreted it correctly, but apparently the blips are water on the water.
Yes.
And they were doing like 150 knots or something ridiculous.
Jesus.
Or 140 knots. And that's where the weird stuff is coming in. It's like, it's not aerial stuff. It's
on the water.
On the water. Yeah. I think. I don't know.
Just right above the water.
Maybe. I don't know. There's some.
Yeah.
There's weird stuff.
I'm gonna have to watch
being said. Yeah, I've been kind of obsessed with it lately.
Have you?
Yeah.
Dude.
Well, I don't know if you knew this, but when I was in like elementary school, I used to always check out books on UFOs. Like,
did I know that?
It just fascinated me that there could be this potential. And it was probably all books from the 70s that have like questionable hoaxes and stuff like that as the the pictures. But I just remember being really interested in it as a kid. And then as I grew up, I was like, even if there's no proof. I always believed there was life somewhere, right, but it hasn't visited Earth. But now I'm seeing testimony by legit people like
Fravor,
F-18 pilots from the U.S. Navy that do not appear crazy. David Fravor and his wingwoman.
Which I think she's recently started coming out and telling her side of the story.
She's recently started coming out and telling her side of the story.
Which to me,
you're talking legit people that are seeing things that they are trained. They're trained observers.
Right.
Like that's
what he said on Lex Friedman's podcast. He was like, I'm a trained observer.
He's a professional observer. Things that he was observing, he could not he was not able to understand what it was. Like, it wasn't like anything that was recognizable.
Right. So
like
his initial sighting was not what was caught on video, right? Like,
yeah, he saw is not on video.
He saw it with his own 2 eyes. And then they sent up people later to go capture it on video, which is what they kind of got.
And it's footage 2004.
Can you imagine the footage that he could have got?
And from what I'm seeing, there's like footage that's out there that's just not available to the public. It's all classified. Like, there's stuff out there that is a lot closer than the videos that we've seen. I think it's really fascinating, and I'm starting to read theories like. So the Navy apparently came out with we're going to go down a rabbit hole.
We got 15 minutes according to your schedule.
Yeah. Well, they're taking a bath now, so maybe there's a little bit of wiggle room there.
I'm getting up against that wall. You know, the yellow one.
I was going to say the P wall.
The bio wall, as you put it earlier, the bio break.
I'm actually doing okay.
I'm telling you, 2.5-ish is kind of like my I'm starting to.
Yeah. And you're the host. You got to stick around. Anyway,
I'll cut it off when I have to. Go ahead. No. Go ahead. This is good.
I'm going to draw this out.
Draw it out. I don't give a shit. I like this stuff.
Yeah, I do too. It's just fascinating to me. I'm like Joe Rogan. Like, I can't get enough of it.
Did you listen to his Neil deGrasse Tyson episode?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Neil was like downplaying it. I'm like, bro, come on, man.
He did, but he made some excellent points. But he's also not factoring in like the trained observer factor of a David Fravor, who things that you may not be able to pick up on instruments that he was seeing with his 2 eyes, based on personal judgment and experience.
Right.
He was a freaking skipper.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
He had so much training.
Yeah. Top Gun pilot, like, that's what you do. You're trained to look and be aware. You're trained.
So So the Navy in 2015, and this is all available on FOIA websites. Like, people have obtained this information via. No, it's actually in public record because it's a patent. The Navy patented this weird propulsion or flight system where they basically have this like gas that they activate via microwaves, and it apparently can it's like an alternate propulsion system. And the theory is the military or the Department of Defense reverse engineered something to get that patent. Because it's like technology apparently could end up in a craft that moves similar to these videos that are coming out.
Because that was the thing that really blew me away about what Fravor said, especially on Lex Friedman's podcast, where he was talking about how it kept moving back and forth and there was no slow down, turn around, go the other way like a helicopter would. It was like sharp, drastic, quick turns, as if there was no regard to physics or gravity at all.
Yeah, he said it dropped 80,000 feet altitude to sea level in less than a second.
That's nuts.
It is nuts.
That's faster than falling.
Yeah. So that's one thing that I found that was interesting. The Navy has a patent. This is real. They have a patent that has this kind of weird technology. And
it's gas.
Initially, I was watching something
triggered by some sort of microwave magnetic radiation, something.
Yeah, something like that.
Interesting.
So from what I've heard via some sort of video, and I guess the video hasn't officially been vetted or not, but the patent was initially rejected by the U.S. Patent Office. They were like, this is impossible. We can't approve this patent because this is just impossible. And
why do they care?
The Navy came back. Well, they don't approve patents if it's not technically possible. It's like, I'm going to submit a patent for a device that gives me an infinite amount of dollars.
All right, fair point. But just because they're not smart enough to understand it doesn't mean, right?
So the Navy responded saying, we think you should approve this patent. We have an operational vehicle that can do this. This is like 2015.
Dude, this is 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Which
So
means they've been
the
working
the-
on it for more than that.
Yeah. So the theory is, so there's two theories. One, maybe this is us doing all this weird stuff.
Us from the future.
No. Well, yeah, that's one thing too. But maybe this is us military somehow has these vehicles that nobody knows about.
Yeah.
I don't know if I buy that, because I feel like, why would you have these things near the rest of the military
100%.
without them knowing? And then you release these videos.
100%.
Like if this happened, it would be classified. All this would be.
You and I
classified.
talked about this, right? We were texting about
Yeah.
it. Like I was just like, well,
Yeah.
it's either
Yeah.
everybody's in on it and they're doing a great job
Yeah.
keeping it secret,
Yeah.
or they've like let it out of the bag so that nobody believes it.
Yeah.
You know, which
So
is genius.
there's
If that's the case.
Yeah. So there's other theories, like these are some sort of.
Because then
So have you heard-
Fravor gets full like immunity. He has no idea, right? He's not
Yeah.
in on it, so he saw what he saw, and he's like, I totally believe what I saw, which is perfect, which is what you want if you're trying to hide something.
Yeah.
So
I've also heard the theory that this is us from the future.
yeah,
I've also heard, and this is
I heard that
interesting
one
to
from
me.
Rogan.
Yeah. Another one that I've heard, because apparently these sightings are close to nuclear sites.
Oh, interesting.
And a lot of these sightings are happening in and around nuclear sites, like whether it be power plants or defense systems or something like that. And if you believe what these UFOologists are saying, it all started with Roswell, and which happened right after our first nuclear detonation
Right.
occurred.
Right.
And one of the more interesting theories that I've heard is that these are, man, I feel like I'm crazy for talking about
You
this,
are crazy, but I love it, and it's a
I know.
podcast. That's what we're
I
supposed
know.
to do.
I love it too. I know. I love it too. I hope it's aliens.
I do too.
I just hope.
I do too.
It would be really cool.
Dude, First contact. Come on, man.
I know. It'd be so awesome.
I'm watching Enterprise.
Yeah. Anyway, so another theory I've heard is that these are drones sent from another civilization somewhere,
Right.
and that they're not actually here. They're like somehow able to bend space time, and that they're from another dimension.
What?
Which would explain some of the weird stuff that these things can do, like go in and out of water without any sort of
Whoa.
impedance on their movement. So I've heard the theory that they're
So I had heard
interdimensional.
that they were drones, right? Like, because the biggest thing would be like, we've done it. And look
Yeah,
at us.
exactly.
We're apes. We sent drones to fucking Mars. Like, we did it.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that
And
hard.
why would you send live beings across the galaxy when you could observe with a drone?
Right.
That kind of
Why would
thing.
you do that?
So the most fascinating thing that I've heard, which was the other day, was that if these are interdimensional beings and they're focused around these nuclear sites, there was a concern from these beings
That we're going to fuck ourselves up.
because that, and also what we've done with these nuclear detonations, they've somehow affected this other dimension.
What?
So they're like, the theory is when we started doing this back in the 40s, that's when they started coming around and be like, whoa, what was that?
What? Yo,
That's a pretty cool theory.
that is a cool theory.
Yeah. So
What's the reading like on that? It must be insane. I mean, you're reading articles, right? Like, are you watching videos? Like, what are you doing?
videos.
Okay, because I'm like,
There's a couple.
reading must be insane. Like the level of comprehension you'd have to follow something like that.
And it's mostly interviews. I don't remember where I saw that theory. Anyway, there's an interesting documentary that I watched almost done. I'm still kind of watching it in my spare time, called Unacknowledged on Hulu.
I have to check that out.
It was made. Yeah, check it out. It's interesting. It's a little bit hard to follow sometimes. It's a little bit. It kind of jumps around?
Is it a multi-series thing? Multi-episode?
No, it's just one. It's like a one documentary movie kind of thing.
Okay.
But it's interesting because it has a lot of quotes from world leaders over the years about UFO phenomena, and it's interesting.
Dude, I got to tell you, the thing that I'm most excited about, and I haven't been able to like really follow. I'm pushing the I believe button. But the thing I'm most excited about is that somebody on Joe Rogan's level, Joe Rogan, is pushing this.
Yeah. Well, the media's talking about it too. Like every day.
They have to, because he's making a big deal out of it. He has such a huge listener base. Whether people are ready to admit it or not, they're listening to him.
And the military's talking about it. That's even bigger to me, because you've got legit smart pilots, multiple, going on 60 Minutes talking about these weird things that they've seen.
Yep. And why not?
In some cases every day for 2 years, 2 to 3 years.
And why not?
It's like, yeah.
What was I was watching, what was that guy's name? The guy that left his job, that quit his job. Louis.
Oh, Elizondo.
He was like, he basically was saying that. He was like, that's, you like, why would you hide? Like, if this is our job, right, to protect us, why wouldn't we talk about it? These things are happening. Like if a Russian ship is off the coast of America, United States, the news is going to cover it, and they're going to say, "Hey, there's a Russian ship off the coast of America."
Yeah. You talk about
there's a Chinese fucking aircraft carrier off the West Coast. They're going to be like, "Hey, there's a Chinese aircraft carrier over there."
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you say that?
So, yeah, it's like the whole argument. It's one of two things. It's one of three things. One, it's the U.S. government, and somehow nobody knows about it, which is to me unlikely.
That's baffling to me, because I was in the military, and I had,
I understand. So the number two, it's a foreign adversary, and if they have that kind of technology, that's extremely scary. To me, that's scarier than aliens.
Me too. Yeah, 100%. Way scarier.
Because that could be an enemy that has this capability that we had no idea. And as Elizondo says, that's like that'd be a bigger intelligence failing than 9/11 was.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
And then, or the third thing is it's some not of this world technology that is doing this. So,
dude, I want first contact so bad in my lifetime. I want it so bad.
Yeah.
It can't be a bad thing.
It might have already happened. It might have already happened.
It can't be a bad thing.
No.
It can't. It can't be a bad thing.
Well, Obama just the other day said that he thinks that if
you knife handing me right now?
He says what did he say? He had a quote today.
Obama did?
In the paper. Yeah, he said that something like to the effect of if it is aliens, which the fact that our president is saying that is pretty groundbreaking. Sure. Former president. He said if it is aliens, what is a better way to unite humanity? Didn't
Reagan say that? Somebody.
Yeah, he did say that.
Yeah, it was Reagan, right?
Yep.
That's what we need.
It's like, or no, it wasn't unite humanity. It was like, what better way to find common ground with fellow humans? Like, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that was interesting that he would say that.
I gotta say, that's really the main reason why I want first contact in my lifetime. I want to see that. I want to see the whole world be like, oh shit. And then everybody comes together.
That might solve a lot of problems.
I'm telling you. Like think about like on a
Nice.
small level, think about things like
It might also cause a lot of problems.
maybe, but like think about two different things, right? You got Antarctica and you have the International Space Station.
Mhm.
Everybody kind of put aside their differences and we were just like, hey, yeah, let's go up there and let's work together and let's make this thing
Because
happen.
we can't do it by
We can't do it
ourselves.
ourselves. We're all humans. We're
up there with the Russians.
right. We want to do this.
Hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
So let me ask you this. Former Navy used to be out at weird hours of the morning and the night on the water.
The water.
Have you ever seen anything unusual?
No,
Me neither.
I know, right? I should have, but I was never off that far off the coast. I think the farthest I've gone off the coast is maybe 12 miles.
Oh, wow. That's pretty far. It's farther than I thought. That's like up to international waters.
It is.
Right?
That is international waters. And I don't remember if we were actually in international waters or if we were close to it. I don't remember. But we had to go pretty
Well,
far out because
sightings are often kind of in that range.
I know this was
think.
during the day. We had to go that
Wow.
far out because they wanted us to do live fire gun shoots on the water. So we had to go really far away.
Gotcha.
So they would set up a big box for us. The Coast Guard would set up a box,
Like
like a
boundary.
notional box. Like they would put out like Latin long and tell us, I forgot how big it was. And then they would
It's like a
broadcast it over the radio, the MAR band, commercial radio. So
Gotcha.
every mariner could hear it. They would know, don't fucking go near that place. These guys are shooting
Yeah.
live rounds.
Yeah.
I don't remember how far out it was, but it was pretty fucking far.
Yeah.
But it was never at night. But no, I didn't see anything weird.
Just curious.
I always
You
wondered.
probably would have told me if you did. Yeah.
I would have told you for sure.
Yeah.
100%. 1000%.
Have you seen the basement office?
Your office downstairs?
No, there's a video series called The Basement Office.
I was like, you have an office in your basement? I was like, you're not in the basement right now. Oh no, it's that time.
Beckoned.
It's that time.
It's that time. Right on time.
I know, she's on it. Hi, Jane. Oh, she can't hear me. You're on
No,
headphones.
It's okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I'm on the TV.
Not anymore.
Oh, I can
Kids are-
tell.
kids
We're
are
down
running
to
back.
2 viewers right now.
Oh, we lost them. Just edit it out.
There's nothing gets edited, man. All your
Alright.
crazy conspiracy theories are out there for the world to know.
They're not.
I don't think
They're
it's
not
crazy.
mine.
I think it's amazing, and I'm excited. I'm just as excited as you are.
So I'm hopeful that it's like something like that, but at the same time, I also would not be surprised, and I'd be fine with this too if it's all explained something else.
Oh yeah,
You know.
100%.
Like there are times when I'm like, yeah, this has got to be explainable. It's just we don't know what it is, but it's explainable. It's us somehow.
I don't know, man. If all the stuff oh man, what's his name? I'm blanking on his name right now.
Friedman?
No, the guy,
Friedman?
huh?
Oh, Elizondo?
No, the guy that went for he worked at NASA. He was brought in to look at the stuff and try to reverse engineer it.
Oh, Lazar?
Yeah, Bob Lazar. If everything he's saying, I mean
There's a the internet's kind of going against him.
why?
If you look at Reddit, apparently he said a lot of things that just are not true. I don't know. There's a bit of a backlash against him right now.
Interesting.
Because apparently there's a lot of things that he's come out as saying that are either easily
Explained.
explained or flat out not as true as you might think it
Oh,
is.
that makes me curious.
Like apparently he worked at Los Alamos, but according to him, he was a scientist there. But apparently the internet thinks, by the internet, I mean Reddit, thinks that he was, somehow someone came out and said that he was he was not a scientist, he was a security, he checked people's badges. So he knows like the processes, but he wasn't like in it. I don't know, whatever. I I trust David Fravor more than I do Bob Lazar. Let's put it that way.
I do too. Yeah.
So, anyway.
On that note,
You've
got babies to put to bed.
On a mysterious note.
Dun, dun, dun. We can do a follow-up if you want to. At some point.
Dude, yeah, I would love to. And I was thinking at some point in the next, who knows, I would actually fly there and sit with you in the room.
Here?
Yeah.
That'd be dope.
Yeah.
We could do a fire outside.
Cool.
Drink a bunch of beer.
I like it.
Like it too.
Sounds good.
Dad's talking about coming up.
Yeah, I saw that.
Was that in the... Yeah, it was. All right.
This one?
Okay, gosh, you hear her. I can hear her. She is... Man, 8:30. Let's go. Let's go. What are you doing?
And you're ready for
Oh, look at him. Making his debut.
Yeah.
He's covered right now by a little bit of a banner. Oh, he's so cute. All right, let's get out of here. I gotta pee. You got babies to put to bed. This has been fantastic. We're gonna do it again.
Good.
I'm so glad you did this.
Thanks. Thanks for asking me.
Mom says Dad wants to come. He will come.
Yeah.
That's what she said. That's what he said. All right.
Yeah.
Get out of here. Put your babies to bed.
I will. Thanks for doing this. We'll do it again.
I will.
Sometime.
I'll text you in a little bit.
Cool. Okay.
All right, man.
All right.
Bye, everybody.